Sierra, are we ready to go?
You are live, Madam Chair. The floor is
Okay.
yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Sierra.
My pleasure.
Good afternoon to our Fire and EMS Committee and to the citizens of Douglas County. Today is May 27th, 2022, and is welcome to our 2 p.m. Special call meeting. Certainly, before we start our meeting today, we wanted to make sure that all the members of our Fire and EMS Committee were acknowledged, or should I say that you are being acknowledged. I'll start off with my name, and then, of course, our Vice Chairman, who's Commissioner Ann Jones Guider, is not available today for the meeting, but however, I will start with myself, Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones, the Chairman of the Fire and EMS Committee, and then I'll yield the floor to you, Chief Jolivet, and then we'll just move around the room to announce who's here.
Fire Chief Jolivet, Douglas County Fire and EMS, here.
Deputy Chief Eric Phillips, Douglas County Fire EMS, present.
Deputy Chief Miles Allen, present.
Deputy County Administrator Frederick Perry, present.
Rosalind Miller, Finance, present.
Tiffany? Okay. Okay, well, we do have a quorum. All right, with that being said, and I believe, did everyone state their names? Okay, Tiffany Stewart Stanley, are you here? Well, we'll move on. So we do have an established quorum committee. First of all, on our list, we have the approval of our minutes, which is our regular meeting minutes of April 5th, 2022. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes? And first of all, I want to make sure everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes. Did you have an opportunity to do so from April 5th? If so, do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from April 5th.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. I see you smiling, Chief. Please, when I call your name, just tell me if you approve or not. Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones, yes. Chief Jolivet?
Yes.
Okay, Deputy Chief Eric Phillips?
Yes.
Deputy Chief Miles Allen?
Yes, ma'am.
Deputy County Administrator Perry?
Yes.
Rosalind Miller?
Yes.
Okay, we have a 7-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. All right, thank you. And next we have another meeting, which is a regular meeting minutes of May 3rd, 2022. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. I'll start with my name first, and then of course I'll move you to Chief Jolivet, and you know who should succeed you. Ramona Jackson Jones, yes for the minutes.
Fire Chief Jolivet, yes for the minutes.
Deputy Chief Miles Allen, yes.
Deputy Chief Eric Phillips, yes.
Deputy County Administrator, yes.
Rosalind Miller, yes.
Okay, we have a unanimous vote and the motion carries. So thank you all to approve the minutes. All right, old business, any old business that need to come before us, Chief?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and our new business, at this time, I will yield the floor to you, Chief Jolivet. I realize this is a special call meeting, so most of these items, I believe, are time sensitive, and you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Deputy County Administrator Fred Perry, distinguished panel, and also to the citizens. Before I start, I'd like to just take a special moment to say congratulations to our chairwoman, Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones, for a National Public Policy Award. And I'm speaking on behalf of being a newly taxpaying citizen of Douglas County. I have planted my flag, and I just thank you for your leadership. And I just want everybody to know, locally, state, national, thank you for what you did. And moving on to the new business.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Station 9, new construction. We, on the last Board of Commission meeting, we had a discussion with the Board of Commissioners, advising them on some changes in the estimated cost for the square footage of the proposed project. And it went from 350 something to 450 per square foot in the proposed project. And that amount came out to be roughly $2.6 million. And after talking with the Board of Commissioners and after talking with Mr. David Good and the contractors, the architects and everybody, came up, after talking to Mr. Good, we came up with the projections of the SPLOST. And we're trending, thanks to the citizens' spending and support SPLOST, we're trending at going from 36 million for the 2016 up until the end of the program to 39.4 million. And what that does is give us the extra monies that we would need for inflation costs to meet that Station 9 rise in inflation costs. So we had two ways of dealing with that. One was to recommend suspending our spending on our upcoming SPLOST projects, dealing with some of the equipment purchases. And we have some extra monies in the service agreement that will help out as well. But we came up with about just make sure I got the numbers right. If we pause our spending, we'll be right at $5,142,000, and that would take care of that Station 9 $2.6 million. And at the same time, by pausing that, we will have a safety net. And then as monies come in with the projections, we'll be able to start back spending strategically to take care of the equipment needs that we have, such as 4 new ambulances, 2 new engines, a new ladder truck. So what we're saying is, even though that everything is going up for inflation-wise, we'll be able to anticipate, listening to Mr. David Good with the projections, at total SPLOST coming in at $170 million. And then our portion of that, we'll be able to take care of that 2.6 mil. But as a backup, we will have our pause spending on some of our equipment until the money start coming in. So I want to bring it to the board, bring it to the committee and see what y'all thoughts were on that plan. And that way we can continue to move the project forward. And also, good news is the survey came back, and that land, after the survey and site work was done, they're able to handle a 4-bay station with extra parking and also some extra room inside that building to be used for multi-purpose. So what they need now from us is to go ahead and develop the plans. And it was a question of whether it would handle 3 or 4-bay. And by it being 4-bay, that's kind of in line with the future growth and what we need for that area. So we want to bring it to the committee for discussion and get the committee to consider voting on approving those architects to go ahead and create the set of plans for that particular 4-bay station. And it's in line with what we've been saying the whole time. So I yield the floor, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Chief, any questions or remarks from the committee regarding this plan of action that Chief just presented to allow us to move forward with our plans for the fire station number 9? I see your microphone just turned off. Rosalind Miller?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Chief, what is the total cost again? And Are there different funding sources or is it all 2016 SPLOST?
2016 SPOS, in the total with the 4-bay projections, we're looking at 8.325. That's the total. And the difference is that 2.6. That's the we started out at 5,700,000, but then with that 2.625 from the 450 per square foot, it pushed it up to 8.325. And then what that did was instead of us spending on some of the equipment that we have already approval for, we would pause that and make sure that as collections come in, that we can start back spending to get that necessary equipment. But until then, we will save that safety net as a matter of just a safety net, so we continue on with the project. Because the architectures, they can't do the plans unless we tell them exactly, go ahead and do the plans for the particular size building that project can hold. So we don't want to delay it. We want to be proposing to keep it going and go on with the 4-bay, and everything will be contained within that SPLOST funding. So we're anticipating that the projections, as David Good was saying, he had already talked to all the leaders and everybody, and he projecting at least more. I think it's like, instead of 36 million, it'd be like 39 million our portion, if everything go well. But in between time, as we bring monies in, we want to be able to start to get that equipment. And Mr. Good is on the line now. He can share what I was talking about the projections, projected monies that may come in that could cover that additional 2.6 in the long run.
Yes, Chief, if I may, Madam Chair.
Yeah, you have to.
Yes, the way that we're looking at it is that when it came out to the original reforecast, it was a little bit over $36 million. And because in the beginning of this SPLOST, we were anticipating 147 million. Now we're on track to make a little bit over $171 million. So therefore, I decided to at least look at it and just use 170 million, just in case there are some months that go below these higher numbers that we're getting. And in that moment, it was a little bit over $39 million that we will get in if I look at the $170 million amount through the end of SPLOST. And do you guys have any questions about those numbers? And I believe that if Terry gave us on the line, he also can speak to those numbers, because I know a lot of times he has the numbers directly in front of him. So if he has any information, he can also speak to it as well.
No, that's basically, Dave, what you went over is correct. I mean, and again, it's all a reforecast of the revenues. And I think the chief has come up with what I feel like is a game changer, and that's holding off on and suspending some of the purchase for the equipment. Mm-hmm. So I think that gives us that comfort level. And as you know, it will not take us long to get through. I mean, we're already in April revenue, so it won't take long for us to, we'll be 3/4 of the way through this year. So we'll know fairly quickly about the revenues and how we're going to end up. And it's going to take the architects probably anticipating around December before December before the plans are done, and possibly let date of January, February of next year. So we got some time. But no, I think it's a great plan. It gives us a little collateral.
Okay. And knowing that this, we're depending on residual funding, Mr. Gable, the residual that's coming on the back end. So that's all contained within that 2016 SPLOST, right? Anticipation. Is that what you're looking at? Okay.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And I think that gives the board some comfort. It would give us comfort, not just thinking we're looking long range and anticipating something that we can't measure, but this is measurable right now is it because of the way we're trending? That's what you're looking at, the current trending?
Yes, and I think everybody, we went through the original reforecast that David mentioned. I mean, basically staying with those numbers around 2.7 million, and we're using that as a reforecast through the remainder of this last year.
Yes.
So it's, I think we're gonna, and that gets back to the chief's point about suspending some of the purchases, and those would be, it could be a decision that can be made fairly quickly as we move through the rest of the year, as we see these revenues come to a reality. The chief can then start spending the money when we actually have it in the bank.
Right. And it makes sense you can purchase the equipment, but if you don't have a building, that makes no sense. I see what you do. You're just shifting. Chief, you're just shifting. You want to make sure you have enough for the building, and then the residual is coming anyway on the back end, and you just would delay the ordering process until, with everything being on back order, that may be a smart move, because a lot of your equipment is on back order, and a lot of this equipment is on back order anyway. I see you nodding, David, so we get it. So hopefully it will appeal to the board. Okay, so Chief, it sounds like you've explained it to us. Would you like to make a motion, or what you got, Chief?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we take this plan and turn it into a reality where we can the station inflation costs. We have a plan to stay within the spending of the SPLOS, and actually at this point the motion will be just to let the board know that we have a plan in place and make them aware of it, and that's all I have on the motion, but y'all want to add to it. Mainly,
we have a second. You just basically want to assure the board that we have a solid plan in place to handle the inflation that's coming down the pike. At the same time, make sure that this building is whole with the equipment as well on the back end. So basically, that's your motion.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do we have a second?
I second that, Madam Chair.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion, committee? If there's no discussion, I'll start with my name, and Chief, I'll pivot to you, and you can just pass the ball from there. Ramona Jackson Jones, I say yes.
Roderick Jolivet, yes.
Deputy Chief Eric Phillips, yes.
Miles Allen, yes.
Frederick Perry, yes.
Oswald Miller, yes.
Okay, we have really just 6 members voting, the motion carries. So thank you all so much. All right, Chief, so just be prepared to present to the board, and then go from there, and then outline what you see how we will handle the inflation, and then also how we will make sure that the building is accommodated with the resources and capital equipment that's needed to be functionable. Okay, Chief, you have it again.
Thank
you.
Moving on to item 2 is Station 4 remodel. Right now we are doing well. We do have the project director on the line, Mr. Scott Shield. He just wanted to let us know, give us an update. They have been out to the site, the architect. So Mr. Shields, are you out there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Can you get a committee a quick update on our Station 4 project? We got it in phases as well. Go ahead, are you okay?
Yes, sir. So currently we're in the design phase for the Station 4. The architect's has already started on his research. The civil engineer as well. They're researching the deeds and the plats for the property. The architect has been to the site to begin his design drawings. He went out to the site yesterday to get measurements and discuss things with his mechanical and electrical engineer. And they're underway. This is the phase 1, which is the design phase. It's about 45-day process, and they're in the thick of it right now.
And And I know as Mr. Shield was discussing earlier, phase two will be permitting phase, which is another 45 days, and then the pre-construction is phase 3, and then construction is phase 4. That's right at 200 days, and then the closeout is about 55 days. So we're in good shape and have a good solid plan, and we look forward to getting that station remodeled and ready to meet the needs of our citizens. So we just want to bring the committee up to date on what's going on with Station 4. We do have solid movement, and we look forward to getting everything done. Any questions or discussions, or Mr. Shield?
Yeah, Mr. Shields, this is Chairman Jones, had a question regarding I know the design phase will take 45 days. Is this design phase, does it include any type of renovation or changes to that basement area too? I understand there is a basement in this fire station. I did tour it, 7-8 months ago. Chief, that's what precipitated this movement, along with the Deputy Chief Allen and Fire Chief Jolivet. Can you tell me if anything is going to be done to the basement? I didn't have nerve enough to go to the basement. It was a little dark. So can you tell me what the plans are for the basement area as well, if any?
I believe the basement, I apologize, I'm trying to pull out my scope of work here. The basement was going to get a new ceiling, if I'm not mistaken. And we also added a new mechanical unit in the basement. Yeah, a new 2.5 ton mechanical unit for the basement. Those were the
2.5 ton, is that an AC unit?
right. I'm sorry. Yeah, heating and air.
Yeah.
Unit for the basement. Yes.
I know it's also going to be prepped for future designs or things if needed. We could have some room for expansion if we have to do something. I know they talked about that initially on it too. Have it prepped and
Right, that's why we're going to repair the ceiling down there.
Yeah. Okay. On that 2.5 ton AC unit, AC and heating, what's the square footage in that basement? Do you have an idea? The reason why I'm saying that 2.5 ton, I just had 2 new air conditioners and heating units installed in the home yesterday, and I know that basement probably. What's the square footage on that basement? The reason why I'm asking, I say it's 2 and at 2.2.5 tons. Is that a large enough unit to keep it cool down there? It may. I don't even know what the square footage. That's why I was just asking.
It is it's approximately 1,900 square feet in the basement.
Mm.
And these units and everything, the size of them, they're all going to be confirmed by the mechanical engineer, who they visited the site yesterday. They're going to confirm all the items that we have in our scope of work and make sure that all the units are properly sized for the building.
All right. That was just one question I had. I said 2.5 tons. I said that was used in my house, and that was at the top part of the house. And I know it's probably not 1,900 up there, but the bottom half is 1,900. So I was just wondering. Okay, that may cool it. I just want to make sure that our firemen are comfortable. All right. Thank you, Mr. Shields. I don't have any other questions, Chief.
Okay. Well, we'd like to thank you, Mr. Shields. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Shields? Well, thank you.
Chief, I got one comment.
Go ahead, Dick.
So we're still waiting. Roslyn can update us, but I think we're still waiting on a few signatures for the purchase order. And we checked yesterday, and it was still in the system, but Mr. Shields is going to be waiting on that very patiently. But we need that as soon as we can get it. But it looks like it's on its way. It just needs a couple signatures.
Okay, I'll verify. Rosalind, that means the Board of Commissioners. Is it one that goes to me and then to the other 2 more commissioners? Rosalind.
Yeah, yeah, I think it would need multiple signatures.
Okay, yeah, I'll look and see if it's in my box and then I'll move it on along.
Okay,
the line.
and
I
also
looked in there yesterday, but I didn't see anything, but I'll look again. Thank you for prompting my attention. Thank you.
Okay.
I yield back to you. Thank you, Mr. Gagel, for prompting my attention.
All right. There's not any more questions. Again, thank you, Mr. Shields, and enjoy your Memorial holiday. Thank you
Oh, yes.
for the input.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
You guys have a good holiday as well.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
All right. We'll move on to item number 3, AFG ladder. I just wanted to update everybody on that. Thank you, Board of Commissioners, for approving us to award the bid and move forward with that project. Right now, we're well within budget. We had to make some adjustments to our equipment costs to make sure we, they had an inflation increase on that ladder between the time frame of us approving the bid, which was about 7%. And they went back to the drawing board. And I say they, I'm talking about 10-8 and Pierce, and they was able to reduce some of that inflation cost down. They went from 114,000 to right about 40-some thousand. And what we did, we made some adjustments on our equipment purchase that we was going to put on that truck. Instead of 95,000 allowance for equipment, we was able to drop it back down to 57,000, and that would keep us in budget in terms of the planning for the inflation cost. So we got a new invoice that came in yesterday, and we have sent that on to Mr. Gable and also procurement, and then they'll be putting together a legal agreement for Madam Chair for your signature, as well as keeping that project moving. The thing about that project is that $1 million that came in from AFG, we're on a time frame to take care of that. And so by locking down this bid that we have, we're able to get that truck built within 10 to 11 months. And they have a slot open for us. And so we just want to kind of update the committee on what was going on so we can get that truck built and in service. And in that truck, we've been talking about it. Wherever we need it in terms of the county, we will place that truck where it's needed to take care of the citizens. So there's not necessarily a certain place it'll go. We just go wherever it's needed to meet the needs of the citizens. And that's what I want to do, update everybody on that, see if anybody had any questions or any discussions or thoughts, what have you.
You just had one question. You said it will not be assigned to any particular station. It'll be considered a roving AFG ladder. Where is the main home for it? Is it any particular home, or you have a special place just for this ladder truck?
We do have a station that it could be housed out of. So until we get Station 9 built, we could keep it out of Station 2 out to serve that district. So we are doing assessments and looking at ways to place our equipment, and so we're excited about moving the project forward to get that piece of equipment. And they do have a slot for it, so we want to expedite it and take care of getting it built.
Thank you.
And that's pretty much it on that one. I know Chief Phillips had just come back from Florida looking at some of the stock vehicles, and they're buying those like hotcakes down there. Matter of fact, they want to look at our engine that we purchased. They want another team want to look at it. And they call and see could they look at it. And we told them they could look, but they couldn't buy. It's already bought, So, Chief Phillips, you want to say anything about that right quick?
Yeah, and it's a lot of that going on because of the demand of the apparatuses now. And the thing about it, they'll want to look at it, then, everybody has a price and they'll try to make a price. But as Chief said, we got that engine, it's ours, but it's a beautiful engine and it's going to do a great job for the citizens of this community. And the committee, we did a great job just getting that engine and making sure it meets our needs.
And just like I was saying, ladders and all, they're in hot demand. So we happy to move this project forward to get that built and get it in Douglas County.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Chief Phillips.
Any questions from anybody on the update on the ladder, AFG ladder? And what we did, the board, they approved the 1.1 million, and then the additional SPLOST dollars that was used to support that purchase. And it came out to be 1.7, but I just wanted to just update everybody on saying what's going on. With that, we'll move on to the next item, which is our last, a vehicle purchasing. We've already talked about pausing our vehicle purchasing to accommodate for the inflation costs of new construction, Station 9. So I just want to, that's on there, but we already discussed pausing our vehicle purchasing for the other items that we've been approved and also. If anybody have any questions on that, we'll move on to the last item, which is trauma grant.
Any questions?
Any questions on item number 4, which is vehicle purchasing? I think everybody pretty clear on that one. And then the last thing is, we started with good news and we want to end with good news. The Trauma Grant Commission, which was established in 2007, and it's under the Department of Public Health. We applied for this grant and we received a check for $13,117, and we'd like for the committee, we'd like to make a motion to the committee that we take it to the full board so we can accept that check of $13,117 from the Georgia Trauma Commission. And that, like I said, that commission is put in place to assist EMS agencies as well as citizens across the state as they deal with trauma. And they have different levels of trauma and stuff like that, but they do have a Georgia Trauma Commission network that committee works diligently to meet the needs of our citizens. So that motion is just simply to for the Board of Commissioners to allow us to accept that check for $13,117, which has already been mailed to finance. We just need to get the blessings. It goes to equipment.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. You have a motion. Do we have a second? Anyone? Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. I'll start with myself. Mona Jackson Jones, yes.
Roderick Jolivet, yes.
Miles Allen, yes.
Deputy Chief Eric Phillips, yes.
Frederick Perry, yes.
Rosalind Miller, yes.
Okay, we have a unanimous vote of 6 votes and the motion carries. So good, that's great. So $13,117 will be coming for the board for approval from the trauma grant. So thank you. Anything else, Chief?
No, I've just been moving for the last 2 days, and that's why I'm looking so sad. I'm still trying to smile like everybody.
Oh, you're hurting. You've been exercising.
Yeah.
Moving. Yeah, moving is always fun. A lot of work involved. But committee, before we close out today, certainly we have all our deputy chiefs who are part of this board, or should I say this committee. And we do have a new chief, deputy chief of fire and EMS, I'm sorry, which is Deputy Chief Farmer, and wanted to make a motion so we can endorse and bring her on as part of our committee. Deputy Chief Farmer, I see you on that. Are you there? Okay, there you are. Certainly, as your new role, would love you to serve on this committee because you have a lot to contribute as well. Major contribution regarding EMS. So with that being said, I would like to make a motion to add our Deputy Chief of EMS, Stacy Farmer, to this Fire and EMS Committee. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a, I heard 2 seconds. Is that, I saw it, but I see a face, which is Deputy Chief Phillips.
I second that motion.
Okay.
Second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second, and then I go around the room. Please feel free to respond accordingly. I say yes to add Stacy Farmer, who is our new Deputy Chief of EMS, to our Fire and EMS Committee. I move to you, Roderick Jolivet.
Roderick Jolivet, yes.
Miles Allen, yes.
Deputy Chief Eric Phillips, yes.
Frederick Perry, yes.
Rosalind Miller, yes, and welcome aboard.
We have a 6-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries to bring on our Deputy Chief of our EMS as part of our Fire and EMS Committee. And we welcome you, and we look forward to all your energy and enthusiasm as you vote and help us make decisions to certainly take forth to the Board of Commissioners. All right, everybody's ready for the holiday, the Memorial Day holiday. We got to look better than they're supposed to be smiling. Chief, I knew you would smile. All right, if there's nothing else to come before this committee, first of all, do you have any remarks, Deputy Chief, as one of our new members, and we're excited about it. I want to give you an opportunity if you want to say something.
I'm just excited. This is a great opportunity, and I'm at my 60-day mark. We've got a lot of stuff going, and I'm just loving it. I really am. It's got a lot of support, so I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, and we're so excited about you and your new role. All right, if there's nothing else to come before this Fire and EMS Committee meeting, this meeting is adjourned, and enjoy your Memorial Day holiday. Thank you.